everyone. My report is all about Rizal and the Revolution of 1896. The Philippine Revolution is one of the most important events in the country's history, awakening a proud sense of nationalism for generations of Filipinos to come. In a period of heavy struggle and conflict, Filipinos of different backgrounds united with a common goal to resist colonialism. That's why their main goal to have freedom in our country. The revolution against Spain was sparked in 1896 after Spanish authorities discovered the Katipunan, a Philippine revolutionary society plotting against their colonizers. It ended in 1902, where Spain lost and ceded sovereignty of the Philippines to the United States. Later, it turned into a war of independence against the United States. The first part of revolution was a success. Many of our best heroes were killed during the revolution. On August 13, 1896, Father Agustin Hernandez wrote to Don Manuel Luengo, the civil governor of Manila, about the evening gathering in his parish. August 19, 1896, Katipunan was finally discovered by the betrayal of Teodoro Pateño to Father Mariano Hill. After the discovery of Katipunan, Bonifacio gathered his men in hills of Balintawak. Balintawak was the place north of Manila which was then a secret meeting place of the Katipuneros. August 21 to 22, Bonifacio called for a meeting at the house of Vidal Acap, then the residence of Apolonio Samson in Kangkong, Caloocan. Sidulas Personales, August 23, Bonifacio and Jacinto met at Bahay Toro, Pugadlawin, Balintawak and gathered at the residence of Melchor Aquino on August 26, 1896. The fairy Bonifacio stopped all the talking. There is no other way, he told them. Enough is enough. He angrily tore his residence certificate, or Cidulas Personales. It was the symbol of Spanish oppression of Filipinos. Also, they tore Cidulas for a revolution. The Katipuneros, head by Bonifacio, started the revolution. The first battle of the revolution took place at the town of San Juan del at dawn of Sunday, August 30, 1986. Bonifacio and some 1,000 Katipuneros attacked the Spanish arsenal at San Juan. It was bloody and awful battle. The Filipinos were armed only with bolos, a few handmade guns or paltiks, old rifles, bamboo spears, and amulets or anting-anting. The superior weapons of the Spanish armed forces won the day. The Filipinos lost and retreated. They left 153 comrades behind. The revolution quickly spread like wildfire in southern Luzon. The Spanish governor General Ramon Blanco declared a state of war in 8 provinces, which is Manila, Bulacan, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, Tarlac, Laguna, Cavite, and Batangas on August 30, 1896. The Spanish officials terrorized the Filipinos and executed many of their famous leaders. On September 4, 4 members of the Katipunan were executed at Bagong Bayan. On September 12, 13 were put to death at Plaza de Armas. or Los Tise Martires. Many Filipino patriots were arrested and put in prison at Fort Santiago. About 1,000 Filipinos were exiled to Guam, Africa, and other Spanish prisons abroad. The martyrdom of their leaders made the Filipinos more angry at the Spanish officials. After Rizal's arrest and deportation to Dapitan, La Liga Filipina dissolved. This was later replaced by a call for aggressive reforms put forward and favored by Bonifacio. Upon hearing of Rizal's arrest, Bonifacio and his fellows founded the Katipunan, the anti-colonial secret organization eventually attracted people from lower and middle classes across the country in joining them in an armed revolt against Spain. Rizal, the country's national hero, refused to participate. He believed timing wasn't on their side and the nation was still unprepared. In spite of his friends' reservations, Bonifacio and his fellow Katipuneros continued with their plan. Yet, on August 1896, a Spanish friar found them out. Thousands of Filipinos were inspired to join the revolution in the nearby provinces. The Filipinos revolutionaries captured Las Piñas, Parañaque, and other towns around in Manila. The revolutionaries was divided into two, the Magdalos Aguinaldo's group and the Magdiwang's Bonifacio's group. Aguinaldo won his battles while Bonifacio lost all his battle. Bonifacio's supporters refused to help Aguinaldo when they were attacked similarly. Aguinaldo's followers did not help the Magdiwangs when they fought the Spaniards. Both rival groups decided to meet at Tejeros, Cavite on March 22, 1897. They wanted to settle the controversy on leadership because a revolution must have only one leader. They decided to elect the officers of a revolutionary government. Bonifacio was overconfident. His followers outnumbered the followers of Aguinaldo. Aguinaldo wasn't able to attend the election because he was fighting the Spanish army at Imus. Bonifacio was elected as the new leader. He did not know that the Filipinos no longer wanted him as the leader. Aguinaldo won the majority vote for new president of the first revolutionary government on March 23 and lasted until October 31, 1897. Bonifacio lost even the position of vice president and other lower position. As a consolation, Bonifacio was elected to the last office of Secretary of the Interior, but even the lowest position was protested by Daniel Tirona. Aguinaldo was elected as the president of the Biak na Bato Republic on November 1, 1897. At the Battle of Limbon, Bonifacio and his men lost the fight and were taken prisoners. Andres was wounded and his brother si Raico was killed. His wife Gregoria de Jesus was one of the prisoners. The revolutionary government tried Bonifacio and his brother Procopio by military court-martial at Maragondon on May 5, 1897, and they were found guilty. They were sentenced to die. Aguinaldo reduced their sentence to life imprisonment, but was able to cancel that order and execute Bonifacio. On May 19, 1897, Andres and Procopio were shot by a firing squad of Aguinaldo's soldiers near Maragondon, under the command of Major Lazaro Macapagal. December 4, 1896, the Katipunan members of Balangay di Masalang meet at Bigaa province of Bulacan, conduct an election under their newly founded Kakarong Republic led by Gen Eusebio Roque or Maestrong Sebio and Dima Bungo. January 1, 1897, General Olaguer Filiu rushed to the fortifications of Kakarong and launched a massive assault against the people including civilians. January 16 at 5 p.m., Maestro Sebio was executed February 15, 1897. Governor Polavija launched an all-out offensive in Cavite. 2 days later, General Lacambre captured the town of Silan. Gen Aguinaldo, aided by Gen Vito Villarmino and Artemio Ricarte, mounted a counter-offensive but failed to get Selang back. February 25, 1897, Dasmariñas Cavite was taken by Gen Antonio Zavala, who also attacked Salitran, which was defended by Gen Flaviano Yenko. Yenko was mortally wounded in action and died on March 3, 1897 at Itmos Military Hospital. Dr. Pedro A. Paterno, a prominent Filipino, acted as the go-between in the peace negotiations. He succeeded in negotiating the agreement to end the fighting between the Filipinos and the Spaniards. This was historic fact of Biak na Bato. It was signed by General Aguinaldo and Governor General Primo Rivera on December 14 and 15, 1897. He was the youngest general of the revolution, younger than Del Pilar by 1 year, 2 months and 7 days. Peace was proclaimed in the Philippines after the Pact of Biak na Bato. Gen Aguinaldo and other revolutionary leaders went to exile in Hong Kong as part of agreement. Aguinaldo and his companions reached Hong Kong on December 30, 1897. Women of Revolution Melchor Aquino, or popular known as Tandang Sora, Gregoria Montoya, Joan of Arc of Cavite, Agida Kahabagan, Joan of Arc of the Santa Cruz, Laguna, Teresa Magbanwa, Joan of Arc of the Visayas, Trinidad Tixon, Mother of Biak na Bato, Florence Nightingale of Panay, Patronicia Gamboa, Heroine of Haru, Marcela Gonzalo, wife of Filipino diplomat Felipe Angoncillo. Both the Filipinos and the Spaniards broke their peace agreement at Biak na Bato. Spain did not pay 1.7 million war indemnity to the Filipinos. Only 600 was paid. Spanish officials continued to arrest and punish Filipino who surrendered. Conclusion: during the Philippine Revolution, thousands of Filipinos have given and sacrificed their lives for the independence of our country. Blood and sweat are given by them in order to have our independence. They fight for their country and their fellow men. That is why we have our heroes. They are the ones that give us the way for peace. So as a citizen of our country, we must have patriotism. We must love and fight for our country over those people that make our country be in poverty. We must each other like the soldiers do during the wars in the revolution. We must stand in one for the success and development of our native land. And that's conclude my report for today. Thank you for listening.